Hello everybody, my name is Francis. Today I'll be taking a private lesson in order to try and fix some of my technical problems. Primarily the backhand side, I feel there's something wrong, and also with my forehand as well, along with my serve, so pretty much everything. But that's okay, that's what makes this game really fun and how challenging it is. Hopefully my private lesson today can help you with your own game. You can learn from my mistakes and avoid them. At least I hope this brings a little entertainment into your day, and hope you enjoy the video. The first thing to work on was my backhand. The coach immediately pointed out to me that whenever I do a backhand, my footwork is a bit off, where I step backwards with my left leg as opposed to sideways. As you can see here, he's trying to instruct me to step sideways first with my left leg as the very first movement once I know it's a backhand that I'm receiving. I try it out myself, but it's not quite as elegant as his. Next up, I try out some drills with that new footwork he told me about, even though it's, as you can see, hard to get used to the first time around. Footwork is something that I've struggled with for a while, even more so for the backhand side, it seems. Here the coach is correcting another issue with my backhand, where I immediately bring the racket back to the slot position, the lower position, and it's just too quick, where supposedly I should be looping the racket more to get more acceleration and have it be smoother.
See how far I pull you? Yeah. And then, yeah, get him out, yeah. Now rush. You wanna feel like, whoa, this is big. You don't wanna feel restricted. Go.
As we do more drills, I'm still not looping it as much as I'd like to, but at least I'm not lowering the racket to the slot position so quickly where I can't get enough acceleration. Still looks like I'm quite tight with the technique, but I think it's just I'm not used to this new looping action where I'm also starting my racket higher as well. By the way, this hot weather was quite brutal for me, and I was sweating like crazy in the first 5 minutes. I've been spoiled with indoor tennis for so long this winter season. But all things considered, this was not a bad rally. Definitely had a lot of trouble adjusting, but hung in there. As we were doing more repetitions, I was getting a bit better with not starting my racket so low immediately, as you can see, so that's at least some small improvement and something for me to keep in mind. One more thing the coach recommended to me with the backhand was for the high shots that I just follow through regularly when I hit those. Otherwise, I have been just trying to hit even more upward on those high balls that I get for some reason, but the ball will stay in even with just a regular follow-through. The next part of my game to fix was my forehand. On the forehand side, I have a very similar problem to my backhand, where I don't raise the racket enough and do that loop to hit the shot. Here he shows that I should bring the racket up higher and use some small steps to adjust the spacing when I do the hitting. Here I'm taking a crack at his advice and trying to loop it, but still have a little bit of that bad habit. It's a bit better, but not quite there, of course, in my first couple attempts. Additionally, with this mistake here, he explains to me that I made that error because of the way I was swiveling my feet around and should instead try to keep my feet on the ground, maybe only with a slight toe drag. Even then though, I was still having trouble keeping my feet on the ground and not swiveling my leg too much. Still not looping it as much as I'd like to, but at least I'm not dropping it so low into the slot position that it makes more errors, and less power since I'm arming it more if I do that. The coach backs up to the baseline and we continue the drills of me trying to loop that forehand more. This will certainly take me some time to getting used to, as I'm so used to that horrible habit of me just dropping the racket to the slot position so quickly. I don't know why I do that. It's probably because I feel that I don't have enough time to prepare for the shot, but in reality that's not so true. Next, we just try to rally both backhand and forehand side. But I was getting so exhausted from the hot weather and just the fatigue that my backhand form just completely evaporated. It made me realize too that I need to not only get used to the conditions, but perhaps work a bit more on the fitness aspect. But that might depend on how serious I want to be and how far I want to go. And I think that's what separates those who are, say, 3.5 and 4.0 or even 4.5. As for myself, I'll just play it out and see how it goes. No pressure to really make the ATP tour or anything like that. I'm just your typical recreational player. The last part of my game the coach wanted to work on was, of course, the serving, the thing that I struggle the most with. He first wants to take a look at how I serve currently, so he stops me only after my first two serves as he sees some obvious flaws. He quickly explains to me that I bring both of my arms up as I do the serving motion, and instead with my racket arm I should have a lag or delay while I'm tossing. This helps generate more of that snap as I hit the ball, and also creates more space between my hitting arm and the ball. That way there's more room to have that acceleration. So he has me try it out and I make a crack at it. Not the prettiest, of course, the first couple times, but that's part of the learning process. I also have a long time issue with my tossing where it's very inconsistent. The coach recommended me to try and toss at the 12 o'clock position as opposed to what I've heard from other coaches where I've been told to toss at the 1 o'clock position. This is because I told him prior to the lesson that I was struggling with the consistency of my serves. Thus, he was trying to ease me up into a kick serve development, but I'm not so sure that I can develop a kick serve, as that's very demanding on my back, and I do have some lower back issues, unfortunately. But that's today's lesson right there, and maybe you guys can also learn something from my mistakes and to improve your own game.
Well, there's the lesson right there, and a lot to improve on. First of all, with my backhand, I need to prepare higher up, not where it's so low like usual and you see in my videos, and just need to start higher up so that I'm able to loop that shot. That way I get more stability in my backhand shot and am not swiveling so much and not relying on my arms only. Additionally, with the backhand side, he told me to use my left leg to step to the side so that I'm not stepping backwards like what I do usually. It's a bad habit of mine, you'll notice in a lot of my videos. For the forehand side, it's the same exact deal. I need to start higher up with my swing, and that way I don't just have such a giant lag if I bring my racket immediately down. And finally, for my serve, I need to make sure that I leave my hitting arm down where there is a lag, and also toss, he recommended, to the 12 o'clock position for now, and just practice that in the meantime. Otherwise, I hope you enjoyed the lesson, and I hope to see you in the next one, and hope I make some improvements. Take care, and have a good one.